Hey, this is Ralph, and in this video I want to go over a solution demonstration, might take a couple of videos, for Quiz 6, which was some web page layouts for CIS 195. And you can see these are the three basic web page layouts you had to make during that timed quiz. So yeah, there are a lot of similarities between these. We've got a black bordered box, a green bordered box, and then there was a large red and large blue box. And that's true for each of them. It's just kind of the arrangements are a little bit different. So let's go ahead and try to create these. Now I do have a page already started. The body of the page is relatively blank. I do have a div container, which I think is going to come in handy for that black bordered box. And I have some internal styles with a generic reset rule and a font for body, even though I'm not showing any fonts. Well, let's look at what we've got here. Black bordered box, that can be the outer container. Then there's a green bordered box, inner container, and then I see the red and the blue box. And when you're looking at these layouts, you want to kind of ask yourself, well, what element is inside of a parent element? So what's inside of what? Red and blue are within green, green is within black, black is within the body of the page. So let's see what we've got here. We've got our div container. Let's go ahead and make a div. I'll do an ID equals a inner container. Very creative name, I know. And then we have div ID equals, which one's first? Red then blue. Red block. Blue block. That is all we need for the HTML. In fact, that might be all we need for the HTML for all three of the particular layouts. So take a gander at this. We have our body of our page. We have a div, which is our outer container. Then we have a div, which is our inner container. And then that one contains the red block and the blue block. Now, of course, there's nothing for us to see on this page. I've got this page open. Even if I refresh, it's still blank because I haven't added any color or anything like that. So let's get to it. I'm going to jump over and I want to kind of look at, all right, black border, green border, solid red, solid blue. Well, let's visualize these elements. So on the CSS, my container, I'll go ahead and set a border for that. And I'm going to do something like 10 pixels solid, and we'll go dark. Now I also want my inner container, border 10 pixels solid, and let's do 090 for a green. Looks pretty good. Go a little darker, 070. Now I want to be able to visualize these blocks. I'm going to go to them and give them some height. It doesn't really matter. We just want them to fit in the space height-wise. So I think for my container, I'll do a min height of 600 pixels. And for my inner container, let's do a min height of, can I do 100%? Let's see what happens there. Okay, so there's my 600 pixel container. My inner container still doesn't quite know how tall to be. So I'll go ahead and change that out. Instead of 100%, doesn't know to be 100%, doesn't know about that 600 pixels. Now, by the way, if my outer container was exactly 600 pixels tall, then my inner container would know what to do. So actually, I'm okay with that. Now let's create some space in this container, and let's do this with some padding. I'm going to do a padding of 50 pixels on the container, which is going to create space for that inner container. And if I want space for the outer container, I have a couple choices. I could do margin on container, or I could head to the body, and I could do padding on the body, and I'll do 50 pixels there. And we'll see we're going to start to create that basic shape. And if I look at my visual aid, yeah, it looks pretty good. Now I just need those red and blue blocks on there. So let's see. I'll jump back over to the markup. What do I call these? Red block and blue block. Red block has a background color that is 700 red. Blue block is going to have a background color that's RGB 007, dark blue. I can handle that. And now I'm going to take both of these, red block, comma, blue block. Let's style both of them together. And once again, they're still going to have a good width, but I'm going to make sure they have a decent height, and I'll set a height of like 300 pixels. Let's see what that gets us. All right, not too bad. It's a little bit big. So let's see, what can I do here? Can I do a height of 200 pixels? There we go. They're starting to get in that space a little bit. Now, before I get a little bit more finicky with their sizing, let me look at my visual aid. Okay, so there should be some padding or something on that green block. No problem, I can handle that. And I'll do the old padding of 50 pixels again. All right. Satisfied with that. Now I just need space on those red and blue blocks in there. So on the markup, I think I'm going to give them a margin top and bottom. I'll do 25 pixels top and bottom, 0 pixels left and right. So basically, the height of my green bordered inner container is being affected by the height of those children in there. So what I can do is I can head back to that inner container, and what happens if I get rid of that height? So now the height of the inner container is still going to be controlled by those child elements. Therefore, we should be able to do something similar. If I got rid of the height for my parent container, the black bordered box, its height is going to stretch and accommodate, once again, its children. So now that we've got this, we have a web page that can actually be resized and be a little bit flexible, because we're simply relying on the height of the children to establish the heights of the parents. Then we have a little bit of margin here and there, and we have some padding here and there to create those spaces. And that is our first flexible layout. I think in the next video, we'll tackle those other two.